Hello, this is Bill Claudsey in the finals of a legendary cube draft, where I keep a pretty awkward opening hand on the play. So it chose to be on the play, our opponent mulligans to 6, but the nice part about this hand is it has both colors, and if we draw a forest exactly, we can start getting Raphelos online. But we sort of have two turns to do that. If we draw land, that's ideal. And if we just draw forest, that means we can play Raphelos. And then sort of go off from there, because once Nisa gets on the table, she finds a forest and then ramps us up to 4 mana, 5 mana, and beyond. Was this a good hand to keep? Not really. And it's turning out to be pretty awkward, but the nice part about Legendary Cube is it's kind of an unexplored format, and the parts that have been explored have been longer, grindier games that are just higher power level, so we always have a chance to get back in it. Wouldn't fault anyone for mulliganing a 1-land Sandstep Citadel hand with a single 1-drop. Wouldn't fault anyone for that. Okay, Gruul Turf. So it looks like our opponent doesn't have much in play, except they kind of do. We still don't have the forest to go off with the Raphelos Emissary. So I'll just play Nisa here and grab a forest from our deck. Yes, please. Kind of fortunate that we have drawn lands. And it's almost like we're on the draw, and that we took a mulligan because of the tempo we lost. So our opponent has, it's their turn 4, and it'll be our turn 4 in terms of development. We do have the early lead in life, and next turn, next turn we can do just about whatever we'd like. So Eidolon is one option. Don't need to make that decision before attacks, though. Azuri's not an option, because despite all of the colors we can produce, we still can't produce blue. So what is it going to be, Eidolon or Raphelos? Raphelos adds a mana. Eidolon is more mana efficient. And draws a card. So that's kind of the tiebreaker for me. Mind Stone, okay. And 2 more hits like this. We might even win this game. I'd call this a pretty fair strategy. A better strategy, or a strategy that usually works, is just spend the first few turns ramping with whatever artifact mana you have, whatever development you have, whatever Gruul Turfs you have, and then play something big, something that can't be beat. Like if our opponent plays a 5/5 here, we can't really attack through it. Not even with Mirari's Wake. That's only a 3/3. And it doesn't hit a creature, so that's pretty good. It's relatively good for us. Now, what to do this turn? Still can't cast Azuri, still can't play Mirari's Wake. Could attack with Kythe, could attack with all 3. The most likely thing is that our opponent blocks Nisa here. We flip Kytheon, our opponent takes 4. That sounds pretty good to me, actually. Then we can continue with Mind Stone and Raphelos Emissary. And that puts our opponent to 8, which is close to lethal next turn with the Mirari's Wake. Or, well, it is lethal with Raphelos and Mirari's Wake. So it forces a chump block. So here we go. We can even force Sidisi to attack Gideon next turn for 3. So I kind of like that. Well, let's see what we get. We can put Forest on the bottom, we just don't need that. Play Mind Stone. I guess Forest wouldn't be terrible, but it's just not great. Yeah, let's force the DC to attack. Attacking lets a zombie come into play, but it also means there's no blockers if there's no zombie. Ichor Wellspring. Kind of a neat bauble here. Yep, there is a zombie off of the one creature. I'm not going to block with her fellows, because it doesn't kill Gideon, and he can turn into a 4/4 and attack. A 5/5 with Mirari's Wake. So that means we're doing 6 to our opponent if there's no other blocker. This is not a legendary creature, but this does become... I wonder if it... I guess it doesn't count as a legendary creature when you put out Hero's Podium. Not that that really matters. So what can we do? Havengull Lich. Huh. In any graveyard, so I think you cast my own Nissa here. That's a bit of a strange one. Let's see what we can do. So we could add 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play Mirari's Wake. 2, 3, 4, 5, and have 4 mana left over with still no blue. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just cast Mirari's Wake. Ooh, it even gets us a card to draw. Priest of Titania. Play that. Sanctuary, return planes. Activate this guy. That might mean our Gideon dies to some combination of things, but that's a bit weird. We could play a bit more defensively. Yeah, let's play a bit more defensively. So if everything attacks Gideon, maybe he survives. And we just won't attack through this 4/4. Like I was saying, this 4/4 just shuts down our whole team, nearly. But if we untap with Mirari's Wake, we get to cast a whole bunch of things. Alright, this looks pretty big. 7 mana. Ooh, that's not good. Flying, Vigilance, Haste, First Strike. So Gideon is dead. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Opponent still has a billion blockers. So this thing attacks... they're all attacking... That was a weird way to do it. They could have done 1 more damage to me this turn. Well... yeah. Akroma's Memorial, this is the bomb of the format. If you get this card, it just doesn't matter what you're playing against. We're not black or red, but we're still getting destroyed by Akroma's Memorial. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 damage next turn. Drana at least. 14 mana to spend. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So what can we draw? Get another green here. Excuse me. Let's cast this. It lets us get a few cards back. So for the cheap price of a little bit. We can play Kytheon, Nissa, grab a forest. We already played a land for some reason, so next we can play 3, 4, 5 for Heroes Podium. That makes our creatures slightly bigger, but still kind of too small to deal with our opponent's force. But we're not dead this turn, necessarily. And any creature could get flying in haste, so... Yeah, things looked good, and then they didn't look good. All because of this thing. Yeah, that's a good one. And that's lethal, any way I can count it. Okay, what can we do against that? Unfortunately, we didn't side any... return the card of the battle at the beginning of the next end step. Actually, Glimmerpoint Stag is one way to deal with that, maybe. I'd take out Trading Post. It doesn't seem very good. So what we do is just bounce the Achroma's Memorial, attack in against a fair board, and then maybe win that turn, our last chance. Yeah, we also had a bit of a slow start, and this is also going to be kind of a slow start, but on the play we won't have to discard 2 hand size from the Sanctuary. Probably just play this out turn 2. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe instead we'll play Sword of the Animist. And the Harbinger, haven't played this yet, this tournament. Get any elf, though. That's pretty nice. So what elf do we want to play? Yes, please. So let's take a look at next turn. Next turn we're going to maybe attack with a Sword of the Animist on the Harbinger. So we'll have 1 mana left over, and we can play Riss and play Selesnya Sanctuary, or Reese or whatever. So that gets revealed to our opponent. Put the top card... Okay, interesting. So let us do this, doesn't matter how we tap. Whoops. Here. Oh, pay 1. That's so strange. I guess it lets us use the Harbinger if we want to. So we'll just always yield to this thing for now. Getting Forest. Then we can return, I don't know, Plains. Doesn't really matter. But eventually the second ability of Reese becomes unstoppable, just doubling all the tokens you have. First, you need to make a couple tokens, though. And then Piana, also one we haven't used. Kind of a strange looking card, but it's, no, not already, come on. So haste on that is just super annoying. Oh, should have gotten blue, I guess. But what can we do this turn? We play this. We can attack for 2, find an island, and then, well, we can play this thing. Make an elf. Oh, we could have added blue all this turn, but then we wouldn't have been able to do all the other things, so we'll just get blue this way. And it might be a little too late for us because Akroma's Memorial is already in play. We'll just have to see. We've got 2 legendary creatures. They each get, or yeah, still 2, the middle ones. They get +1/+1 from the podium as it is. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sacrifice a creature. I guess I'd like to sacrifice the Elf Warrior. And this gets revealed, so our opponent gains 4 life or whatever. That's annoying. All our hard work undone. The good news is our opponent has not played a creature that can do much. Milliken doesn't qualify. Okay. Claw of Progress. Yeah, that looks like a good one to cast pre-combat. Then we add something, we get an experience counter. I don't know where that appears. Oh, here it is. And give that counter to, I don't know, Piana, I guess. Sure. Well, this is looking pretty good this game, but it's just, you never know what an opponent's deck can do. For 8 mana, 7, 8, 9 mana this turn. Possibly. But if we survive until next turn, that's pretty good. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Something like attacking for exactly lethal next turn. It's hard to count because it's hard to say what we do with Reese or if we cast Hero's Podium or not. Ah, okay. Well, that's annoying, but I think we can still beat that. Yeah, I think we can beat that. Uh-oh. Scrubland. Yeah. Well, how many counters do we have? Just 1, so it doesn't really pay to do much except put another counter into play. We have 3 legendary creatures now. So they each get +2/+2. And that's enough to attack past this Drana. Sure. Yeah, I could try to get lucky and activate this for 1. Hit a legendary creature. So we did it. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Okay. So let's power up Reese, I suppose. +1/+1. +2/+2. Oh, this didn't enter with a counter because it was too big. Alright, cool. So that should just about do it. We even hold up indestructibility on Kytheon here. Our opponent can survive. We don't have trample, but they're losing both of their creatures to survive. We have just enough damage that they can't block the Harbinger. Yeah, that'll be lethal if they block like this. I mean, we even have the extra Elf Warrior to get through. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the opponent goes to 2, and they have to have something really good to survive the next turn. they could certainly have it. But even something that destroys all creatures won't destroy Kytheon if we play our cards right. Languish doesn't do it, our creatures are too big. Oh, maybe Languish does do it. It goes down the chain. It kills Kytheon, and then this gets smaller, and then this gets smaller, and then this gets smaller. So Languish actually does kill all of our creatures. -4, -4. So hopefully it's not that, although we do get to play all of them again. So we did it. On to the game 3 of the finals. Are there any sideboarding options we want to take advantage of? Hey, Lotus Veil, that's a combo with Titania. Titania. Still don't like Trading Post, it's just a bit too slow. Doomwake Giant is kind of cool, but it doesn't really interact with our opponent all that well. Miri, and it's very hard to cast. Well, not very hard, but hard enough that... Yeah, and there's no huge payoff. We don't have infinite enchantments. Oh yeah, this is the best hand we've kept yet. Against this opponent, anyway. So once we get to 5 mana, we go up to 10, and that's enough to cast everything. Ooh, Kytheon. Yeah, that's a better one to play first, for sure. Milliken back. It's a nice one to play first as well. This can't really affect our opponent's move here, so we'll just cast this out. There's just no chance they block anyway. So, next turn, we get to make an elf. This is potentially 4 mana. What? Oh. Outpost Siege, it's pretty good. Harbinger, that's even better than making a token. It thins our deck, it makes it a little more likely that we draw land. Gets more damage in this turn. Just which creature do we want? Yeah, I like Nissa here. So this is in cons mode, which means just exiling another card at the beginning of each upkeep. Yeva, not one you can easily cast unless you have a green source. Wait, what happened to this? Oh, shuffle your library and put it on top. Yeah, that works too. So there was another green source. Our attacks become a little more difficult. A little more difficult. What can we do here? Well, if we didn't put this on top and we drew a land, we could have done more. Sadly, that's not how it worked out. Yeah, we'll just have to pass here. Golgari Rotform, not a bad one, but not one that develops the mana this turn. So our opponent can't cast a 6-drop if they bring in Golgari Rotform. Oh no. Yeah, next turn it could be the Wake, and then Elish Norn is pretty good after that. Elish Norn's almost as good as, Akroma's Monument. The big artifact that was wreaking havoc with us. Yeah, even with Mirari's Wake this next turn, we can't really attack into anything. So what to do? Yeah, it's tempting to try something like Eidolon first, but Yeah, it's not going to work. Also, we could cast Mirari's Wake and leave up 2 green, but we just don't have anything to use the 2 green mana on, so that's also not worth it. We'll just have to be happy with Elesh Norn next turn and hope that's big enough to attack him to these 4/4s, whatever it might be. This 10, this is 11 mana next turn. 11 to 13 mana next turn. So lots of options over there, I would imagine. This is 8 mana our opponent has, and that's without playing a land, so they do have a land to play, right, since they returned it with the rot form. So here comes something. Ooh, Foul Tongue. What to sacrifice? And are they revealing? No, they're not revealing a dragon. It's between Reese and the Harbinger. I suppose we'll get rid of the Harbinger. Reese might come in handy if we just keep adding tokens at some point. Drana's in play. Alright. Well, you'll have an army of 2/2s after this. What does this do? If we cast Mind Stone, we can immediately cast Elesh Norn. And there's no other great way to do that. So let's do that. Oh, what am I thinking? Yeah. So we have even more mana than I thought. 6, 7, 8. So we have 3 left over. So we could do this and activate Reese. But I kind of want to attack with Reese this turn. Yes, I do want to do that, because then we could make Yeva attack yeah, okay. No, what am I thinking? I'm thinking we can, yeah, we flip Kytheon. Alright. No, I'm losing it. 7, 10. We want to, yeah, so let's do Mind Stone. I think whether or not to activate Reese this turn. We could do it, but that's not necessary. Cast this guy out, and attack with these 3. And if our opponent wants to kill a creature, they have to block with both. And if they don't kill a creature, well, they're in bad shape. They go to 1. Yeah, so this is the clash of the 7 mana bombs in the finals. And we played ours first. You know, despite being different colors, I mean, they have green. We do have similar strategies, like our opponent has Hedron Archive, and we have Mirari's Wake and Mind Stone. Yeah, so that makes sense. I don't mind this outcome, because we really just win this encounter. That gets rid of Drana, get a forest, that's not great. And they need to deal with 2 creatures to live. So they need to cast something a little bit bigger than a 2 toughness creature. And not just 1, but 2 of those. And that's not going to do it. I can't imagine 2 mana stabilizing it for our opponent. 3 mana, fair enough. But what is that? Don't even see what just happened. Black Sun Zenith. Well, when you get the Black Sun Zenith off, you get the Black Sun Zenith off. So good games. We won a legendary cube drop with a pretty good elf token deck. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. I'll probably do one or two more of these to explore a different archetype.